The most reliable luxury cars of 2025. You know what's harder to find than a luxury car with a massaging seat? A luxury car that won't break down when you're 100 miles from the nearest dealership. In 2025, a few rare luxury machines are doing both, giving you the smooth ride and the peace of mind. So today, we're looking at the 12 most reliable luxury rides you can actually count on in 2025. If you skip this video, that shiny dealership brochure might cost you thousands. The BMW X5 with the B58 engine from 2019 onwards kicks off our list at number 12. Let me cut through the marketing BS. Not all BMWs are reliability nightmares, and this powertrain proves it. The B58 3.0-liter turbo inline-6 is an absolute gem, pumping out 335 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque. What makes this special is that BMW finally addressed those timing chain issues and oil consumption problems that had owners pulling their hair out with previous generations. The cooling system improvements alone are worth celebrating. The water pump actually lasts more than 60,000 miles now. Revolutionary concept for BMW, right? Skip the air suspension unless you enjoy random warning lights as dashboard decoration. And while you'll still pay BMW prices for maintenance, you'll be visiting that service center way less frequently. Number 11 brings us to the Audi S4 from 2012 onwards. This car marked Audi's reliability turning point, and Reddit have got the repair invoices, or lack thereof, to prove it. The 3.0-liter supercharged V6 puts down 333 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. What most people don't realize is this engine will happily cruise past 150,000 miles with just routine maintenance. The 7-speed dual clutch can be a bit jerky at parking lot speeds, but change the fluid every 40,000 miles, which most owners skip, and it'll outlast most relationships. The thermostat housing typically gives up around 60,000 miles, and the MMI system occasionally takes unscheduled naps. Budget $800 for the former and learn the reset procedure for the latter. Beyond that, you're looking at one of the most reliable German sports sedans of the modern era. Breaking into our top 10 is the Acura MDX from 2022 onwards. This model brings Honda's bulletproof reliability along for the ride. The naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 delivers 290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. Not winning any drag races, but this J-Series engine is practically immortal. It's seen previous generations of this engine family sail past 300,000 miles with nothing but fluid changes. The 10-speed automatic is shared with several Honda products, which means extensive testing and refinement. Where this MDX really shines is the absence of problems. Boring, I know, but exactly what you want in a luxury 3-row that doesn't leave you stranded. One thing they don't tell you in the brochure: the infotainment is finally intuitive after years of Acura's bizarre dual-screen setup. If you want an SUV that'll still be running when your kids start college, this is it. Number 9 on our countdown is the Audi Q5 from 2018 onwards. The 2.0-liter Turbo 4 puts out 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Numbers that don't tell the full story of how competitive this powertrain really is. What's impressive is how few of these engines develop issues even well into 6-figure mileages. Audi finally sorted out their electrical system reliability with this generation. Fewer sensors, simpler architecture, and significantly reduced electrical gremlins. The water pump remains this car's Achilles heel. Budget for replacement around 70,000 miles. About $1,200 at the dealer, but any decent independent shop can do it for half that. Small price to pay for a luxury crossover that otherwise refuses to break. Hey, before we get to our top 8 most reliable luxury cars, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. I spend countless hours under these cars so you don't have to, and I've got a lot of videos coming in. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Cruising into 8th place is the BMW 340i with the B58 engine from 2016 onwards. Having replaced dozens of N54 and N55 engines in earlier 3 Series models, this B58 is a revolution. The 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 delivers 320 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque from the factory, though dyno tests consistently show those numbers are underrated by about 10%. BMW finally eliminated the carbon buildup issues, fuel injector failures, and coolant system weaknesses that plagued previous generations. What makes this engine special is the closed deck design and integrated water-to-air intercooler, engineering choices that dramatically improve long-term durability. One critical warning: beware of heavily modified examples. These engines respond remarkably well to tuning, but aggressive mods can compromise that hard-earned reliability. The ZF 8-speed auto is nearly bulletproof, having been torture tested across multiple manufacturers for years. Rolling into 7th place is the Mercedes E-Class W213 from 2017 onwards. After years of watching W212 owners become intimately familiar with their tow truck drivers, Mercedes engineers clearly got the memo with this generation. The 2.0-liter Turbo 4 in the E350 makes 255 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Not earth-shattering numbers, but this engine avoids the complexity and headaches of the larger options while providing adequate grunt. The 9G-tronic transmission was a massive improvement over previous Mercedes automatics. Gone are the valve body issues that turned earlier transmissions into expensive paperweights at 80,000 miles. I would recommend the standard steel springs if you plan to keep it beyond warranty. The electrical simplification alone is worth celebrating. Fewer modules means fewer failure points. The W213 E-Class feels like Mercedes remembered they built their reputation on solid engineering, not just luxury features that break in creative new ways. Taking 6th place is the Porsche Macan from 2019 onwards. When this model launched, I was skeptical. Porsche's first compact SUV seemed like a recipe for disappointment. I've never been happier to be wrong. Engine options range from turbo 2.0-liter 4 with 248 horsepower to the twin-turbo 2.9-liter V6 in the S model with 348 horsepower. Both power plants are remarkably durable, with the 4-cylinder having a slight edge in long-term reliability. The 7-speed PDK dual-clutch transmission deserves special recognition. 2 maintenance items to budget for. The water pump on V6 models typically needs replacement around 60,000 miles, about $1,500 at the dealer. And the panoramic sunroof drains require regular cleaning to prevent leaks. Beyond that, it's as close to bulletproof as German luxury gets. Breaking into our top 5 is the Lexus IS 250/350 from 2021 onwards. Yeah, Lexus still sets the reliability standard, and the latest IS continues that tradition. The naturally aspirated 2.5-liter V6 makes 204 horsepower, while the 3.5-liter V6 delivers 311 horsepower. In an era where everyone's downsizing to turbocharged 4-cylinders, these smooth 6s are mechanical masterpieces. The 8-speed auto in rear drive models and 6-speed in all-wheel drive variants are equally overbuilt. They might not shift as aggressively as German competitors, but they'll be functioning flawlessly long after those competitors are in the junkyard. What impresses me most in high-mileage examples is how little goes wrong. Electrical systems remain stable, interior components maintain their quality, and even high-wear items like seat bolsters show remarkable durability. The only genuine weakness is the infotainment system, which remains less intuitive than competitors. Small price to pay for a luxury sedan that treats repair shops like strangers rather than second homes. Just missing our podium at number 4 is the Lexus GX 460 from 2020 onwards. The 4.6-liter V8 makes a modest 301 horsepower and 329 pound-feet of torque. Nothing earth-shattering, but this engine family routinely exceeds 300,000 miles with just basic maintenance. The 6-speed automatic transmission is similarly bulletproof. It's not the most efficient or responsive, but it's virtually failure-proof. The 4-wheel drive system uses a mechanical center differential rather than the electronic system that keeps luxury SUV owners awake at night. Yes, fuel economy is abysmal. Expect 15 miles per gallon on a good day around town. And the infotainment feels at least a generation behind competitors. But when every other luxury SUV in the shop is there for a 4-figure repair, the GX owners just wave as they drive by. Taking bronze in our reliability Olympics is the redesigned Lexus RX from 2023 onwards. Having worked extensively on every generation of RX since the original in 1998, this latest version addresses virtually every criticism. The standout powertrain is the RX 350's 2.4-liter Turbo 4, producing 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. Despite being Lexus's first mainstream turbocharged engine, early data shows exceptional durability thanks to conservative tuning and overbuilt internals. Honestly, the engineering margin here is impressive. The 8-speed automatic is smooth and responsive, with internal components rated for significantly more torque than the engine produces. Classic Toyota over-engineering that pays dividends in longevity. What truly impresses me is how Lexus modernized everything while avoiding new reliability issues. The touchscreen finally ditches that awful touchpad controller, and despite adding features, they've actually simplified the electrical architecture. If you're cross-shopping German luxury crossovers, understand this. The RX will cost you thousands less in maintenance over your ownership period, while delivering 95% of the experience. Taking our silver medal position is the Porsche 911, specifically the current 992 generation. The twin turbocharged flat six comes in various states of tune, from 379 horsepower in the base Carrera to well over 500 in higher trims. What amazes me about these engines is how conservatively Porsche rates them. They're built to handle significantly more power than advertised. The 8-speed dual clutch is equally overbuilt. Even units that have endured track abuse and countless launch control starts show minimal internal wear. Most impressive is how Porsche maintains reliability while adding complexity. The electrical systems are remarkably stable compared to other German performance cars, with surprisingly fewer sensor failures or electronic glitches. Yes, parts of the labor are expensive when something does break, but after inspecting hundreds of these cars, what's notable is how rarely they need anything beyond scheduled maintenance. The 992 generation 911 is the rare exotic that can handle daily driver duties without constant dealer visits. And claiming our reliability crown for 2025 is the Lexus LS 500, particularly the refined 2021 Plus models. Yes, guys, nothing comes close to the LS for long-term durability. The twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 delivers 416 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. Impressive figures made more remarkable by the engine's bulletproof nature. Despite being Lexus's first twin-turbo V6 in a flagship sedan, the failure rate is virtually zero. The 10-speed automatic transmission is similarly overbuilt, with smooth operation that doesn't degrade over time, and internal components designed to handle far more abuse than any owner will deliver. What separates the LS from competitors is obsessive attention to detail. The climate control components are tested to extremes beyond any real-world scenario. The air suspension includes redundancies that prevent the failures common in German competitors. The electrical architecture prioritizes stability over bleeding-edge features. Even the semi-aniline leather undergoes additional treatment processes that allow it to resist wear thousands of miles longer than comparable materials in other luxury flagships. After seeing what goes wrong with S-Classes and 7 Series after warranty expiration, the LS 500 isn't just transportation, it's peace of mind with a luxury badge. And that's a wrap. Which car do you think deserves the most reliable luxury crown in 2025? Have you ever owned a luxury car that turned out to be a total nightmare? Drop your stories in the comments. I read every single one. Before you go, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want more, click on our other videos. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching.